My Carnage welder is my go-to welder. You want to see how easy it is to get to?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this.
We've got the fastest deployable welder. A Carnage welder is a wire feed welder. It's basically batteries and everything inside of a box. It's quick deployment. Just take out the case, open it up, turn it on, and you're ready to start welding. No.
It's very user-friendly, awesome penetration on the welds. The first weekend I was out with it, I had to use it, and it's the only reason I was able to complete the second course in my competition.
If you're ranching and farming, you have to have a Carnage welder in your tool bag.
If you're a hunter and you're off the grid, the Carnage welder is going to be a necessary tool.
You break, let's fix it. 10 minutes later, let's get back on the trail and let's try whatever you broke it on again.
I'm able to utilize that in so many different aspects of my life.
I always carry a Carnage welder as a part of my off-road gear.
Pack it wherever you need to, flip a switch, hook up a ground, and start welding. It's that simple.
We've chased checkered flags through dust, rocks, mud, and worse. We've crowned champions, racked up wins in places where tires go to die. And we're still just getting started. From hammering at hammers to Baja bangers. If it's brutal, beautiful, or just plain ridiculous, we're there. With Maxxis tires, built for whatever you're chasing.
We are here at the WERock rock crawling competition. Non-stop 4x4 action here. If you guys have never been, you need to get out here. My name is Jake Good and I run WERock events. It is World Extreme Rock Crawling. It's a championship series that travels the entire country, bringing out the best technical off-roaders in the United States. So our goal with our competitions is to bring the rock crawling to the public. Great part is having these young kids out here working with their dads, uncles, moms even, working to create that team and that bond as they battle through these WERock courses through the weekend. You're gonna smell that rubber. You're gonna hear people yelling back and forth as time runs out. You can smell the fumes coming out of the car, the dust that's being kicked up. It is a full immersive experience.
All right, I think I'm good to go here. All right, welcome to another WERock Wednesday. I am here by myself. So not only am I your main host for tonight, or your technician tonight, I'm also your main host. First off, I'd like to thank Laser Nut for presenting the WERock Lives. For all your laser cutting, forming, welding needs, Laser Nut does an amazing job with producing amazing parts. Maxxis tires, whether for work or for play, tread victoriously with Maxxis tires. Metal Cloak, Brannick Motorsports, Behemoth Drivetrain, Carnage Welders, Crown Automotive, Spider Tracks Off-Road, Raceline Wheels, Drive Shaft Specialist of San Antonio, Tire Right, and Axle Helmets. All right, I do not know of much updates going on in the rock crawling world right now. I've seen some amazing videos though from the Peterson's Off-Road Museum. There's been some really cool, I saw videos playing in the background, actually some of the WERock YouTube videos, so that was awesome to see. Jesse Haynes has a single-seat moon, one of his single-seat moon buggies in the museum, so it's awesome to see competitive rock crawling getting that kind of recognition, and definitely makes me want to go out there and check it out. We have a special guest from Pro Modified to CAD designing, RCs, desert racing, about anything off road right now. And this young man, Braxton Coleman. So I'm going to bring him on here. Almost. Gotta get everything. What do I want? That one. All right. I think we are on.
Hi. Hi. I'm back.
I think everything's running. I don't see any comments yet. So, all right.
Cool.
Well, we did have you on earlier this year. I want to say that was after all the way back in, well, after
So I
Baghdad, I
think it was
believe.
right
Yeah.
after Baghdad.
So it's been a while, and I know that was, I think, our very first live guest we had streamed on. So it was a little hectic. I think we've got a little bit more figured out, but it's awesome to have you back on.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here as always. I love talking with you guys. It's still just the WeRock family. This is what we do. Hang out.
Yep, it's that is always an awesome part. But let's well, I mean, we could even go. Since we haven't talked to you since earlier this year, how was your pro modified year?
It was a great year for us. We did the most events we've ever done. We did all the West Coast, and then we were able to make it out to Dayton for that East Coast event. That was super fun. Honestly, probably my favorite event of the season because it was different. It was something new. Um, it gave us a taste of the night comp, so we were more prepared for what Reno would bring in Nevada, which that was an amazing event. The turnout for a first year event there. Well, not first year, but first year event there. It had a great turnout. I was super excited with everyone that was there, and a great competitor turnout too. Which I mean, it helps with all those local guys up there. Um, but overall, I had a lot of fun. I think Brett had a lot of fun, and as of right now, we're still planning on competing for next season. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it's awesome. I always look forward to having, your whole crew that comes out. It's you're not just you've got your whole family comes out. Some of your spotters family. It's awesome to see, everyone come out and support you and, help, supporting your program.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's kind of crazy the more that I like think back to events and like the first event at Cedar City, I didn't realize how many people we really had there that were like there to support me because we had a lot of the desert race like pit team up there too, which well, it wasn't a pit team then, but it's turned into a pit team over time. And so that it's kind of been crazy to see the progression of well, one, the sport and how much more support from teams and the people that come for the teams are supporting other teams now. I mean, there's a family based in the Bay Area in California, and they were at the Cedar City event 2 years ago, and when they heard my name over the intercom, they were like, "Oh, that's a great name for our kid," and so I've got the baby named after me, which is kind of crazy.
That's awesome. That's I wouldn't say it's every day you meet somebody that would be named after a rock crawler.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, that's amazing. That obviously, is kind of a testament to who are who you're becoming as a young man. And I know, let's see, like, you are going into your senior year of high school.
correct. Yeah, I am well just about halfway through my senior year. I think
Or
Christmas
yeah,
break
what
starts
what
next
what?
Friday.
Yeah, it's whatever day year it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Um, and I I've had a lot of fun working at the CTHS school at the career tech school, and I've learned an incredible amount. Like there's been a lot of doubts within the community about the school, but that's the people from the outside are like, how is this actually benefiting? And so I need to go through and I want to do an email to the principal about how the school has changed the trajectory of my life. Because before this school, I didn't really know what CAD was like at all. Dad had Fusion on the big PC when he worked at Cargo Glide, And I tried messing around on it, and he was like, "You would really like this app." And I was like, "Okay, I can mess around on it." And I didn't want to mess around on it necessarily, but throughout the last 3 years, now I'm to the point of where I'm able to design chassis and parts, and I designed a tail light for Rich for his Jeep. Um, I've printed a lot of parts for my 4Runner, like I made light bezels for my bumper on my 4Runner. I originally catted out a bumper for my 4Runner, and then I started building it, and it changed everything. I didn't know what I was doing with the tube bender, so that was fun to learn. But overall, the changes from who I was to who I am, a lot of it attributes to that school and the type of people I've surrounded myself with. Because everyone there's a lot like me, where they didn't necessarily know exactly how it was going to affect them, but they knew that it was the better option to go to this school than go to a regular high school because you would get better experiences. And so, speaking of senior year, we have a senior capstone project, and we're going to build an off-road go-kart. Let me see if I can screen share this one. See, I think it's this button.
We'll find out.
I'm going to send you a request.
Oh, allow. You've been allowed.
Okay.
I don't know.
What is it sharing?
Nothing.
I want you to share screen too. Yes. Share.
Oh,
Okay. Should be able to see, yeah, all of this. Oh,
It's-
it made the whole screen go green.
there we go.
Yeah. So basically, we're going through and we're going to build an off-road go-kart. This is the document that we send to sponsors to help reach out, and it just gives a basic viewing, some basic drawings about it, basic dimensions, and then the overall cost and timeline. This is the Fusion file. It's probably going to be a little bit laggy, but we went through at the end of last year. It took me, I'm the main CAD designer on this. It took me about a month, maybe a month to design this, and it's taken me longer to get all of the like movements working, but all of the shocks move. Oh, it messes up sometimes like that. But and then the trailing arms in the rear work. And so the crazy part with this project and why it's a bigger project than just like a senior capstone project is I did a lot of research to figure out how to make a trailing arm system work with a belt driven or just a regular go-kart motor type thing. And I could not find one at all where the trailing arms worked with trailing arms. So the basic idea of the design, which is still going to be something that we have to figure out 100%, which is going to be more interesting when we actually have it all put together. But you have your drive, or I guess, and it's going to run down to a center point on the chassis. This way, it is a constant arc and constant tension on the belt. We were going to do a chain, but as I talked to like Ron and my dad, there's still twist in the trailing arms, so it can break the chain. If we do a belt and we do a little like beveled V thing, so the belt has room to slide and keep tension, then it should work. Should's the keyword. It's going to be a lot of trial and error when we actually get it all said and done. But that's like the biggest thing that I've found, because all the go-karts, off-road go-karts, they're either independent rear suspension or the motor is mounted with the axle, so it all moves as one piece, or the axle is just two vertical shocks and everything else is solid mounted. So there's barely any movement. We have about 8 to 10 inches of down travel, and then we have less up travel. There's a lot in the rear, but there's less in the front of the up travel. Like that's full up, and then full droop. It's a little. I don't know why it decided to die, but
Yeah, I know.
got about
I've done a
that
little
much.
bit of 2D CAD work for cutting things out on a plasma table, and I know it is a completely different animal to go into the 3D world. of the 3D modeling softwares. But there's so much amazing stuff and skills that to learn from and to be able to have access to. I definitely wish I had the opportunity to take a class, go to a school like you have done, and learn learn that and get that hands-on experience at high school.
Yeah, no, it's been kind of crazy, the advancements I've personally noticed in what I've been able to design, and it took me way too long to figure out how to get this simulation to work properly, but it's working properly ish now. But this is what we have so far. We're going to pick up more metal on Friday after school. But we got Sumpf tires, Sumpf tires they donated some tires for us. We also got these wheels donated by a guy here in St. George. And then this is the bottom frame part. We're gonna put some supporting bars in and then weld or bolt on sheet metal on the bottom for the skid plate. This is the middle bar. So that would be the, hold on, I gotta wait for it to move. That would be this bar here. And then, yeah, that's that middle bar. So we ran out of metal. We completely underestimated when we first ordered. But we have this part here cut out. We weren't going to take anything together yet or tack anything together yet until we were able to do a few supporting bars up here, and then we have to bend the round tube. But we should have enough metal come this weekend to get it most of the way done. But that's been, I would say, my senior year, but I had it all done before my senior year. But we're building it throughout the senior year. So, yeah.
Yeah, very cool, awesome. I'm excited to see it. And one thing looking at it, you've got trailing arms. You're going for I would say more travel than a typical go kart. And so I mean, what's your goal? Your goal with it?
So originally it was more like we just want to be able to have something that we can go as fast as we want without really having to worry about anything besides like general safety. But the more we've been talking about it and the more Jackson and I have gone to the desert races with the Desert Race School in Ron, there is a legacy race called the Dirt Rebellion, I think is what it's called, and it's in Cedar City, and it is a UTV and go and quad race. I want to get in contact with Legacy and send over this file, the CAD file, and be like, would this pass tech by any means? And if they say no, you need to change this, and this, it's something where we're in the early enough stages where we can do that. And hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not too much more and we can actually race it. Now, I don't want to race with the big trucks, so I think this UTV and quad race is as far as we're willing to go with it.
Yeah, it would definitely be scary on course with the big trucks. Even some UTVs would probably be a little scary, but it'd be awesome to see you out, racing in it too.
Yeah, no, I'm really hoping that it works out, and I don't know. I'm gonna let that sit there, and we'll see what happens.
Wow. All right, let's perfect. So yeah, and you mentioned the Desert Race School, and I know we did talk a little bit about that back in March or February, whenever that was. But it's been a while. What's been going on with that?
So since we've last talked, I don't know if we talked about the Parker last time, but we went and did the Parker 400. We won that one, and that one worked out great. Then we went to Baja in June, and we raced the Baja 500. It was a lot of fun, but it was way too long in a truck. Uh, Schaefer and I, we were in the truck for about 16 hours from 7:30 when we got to staging to midnight. That's not quite 16. No, I don't know. However many hours that is. It was a lot. Um, it took longer than it should have. We only got one flat, but John rolled over at mile like 150. And so we took our time making sure we didn't break anything as it rolled over. And then we were all discussing what John wanted to do, whether we wanted to keep going and continue, or if we wanted to call it. And the original call was John was going to go back to Mike's ranch because there was a really loud rattling in the motor. At least it sounded like it was in the motor, but it was just in the bell housing of the transmission, and the rock fell out, and then they turned around and followed. Schaefer and I left and went straight through. It was about, I think it was like 5 or 6 p.m. by that time. And so we had another 150 miles to go before we hit our pit where we had our driver change for the night. I'm not even gonna lie, I don't remember the last like 50 miles of that race because we hit the river crossings and mud, and I was shivering and cold. And then I'm assuming I probably just slept that last 50 miles. And then I remember getting out of the car. I was trying to help, and mom was like, dude, you're shaking so bad, you're more in the way. Go sit in Cassidy's bourbon and just warm up. And so I listened. I sat in there. Glenn and Elliot got in the truck. They went 25 to 50 miles, somewhere in there, and the alternator crapped on them. And so the car died. And then Jonathan and I believe it was Eric, they got a little bit further than them. I want to say probably 10 to 20 miles. And then they got so stuck in the silt, and we couldn't finish on time. So that one, both trucks took a DNF. That was an amazing trip. I really, really enjoyed the trip. The race itself was a very, very long day, but besides that, it was fantastic. And then last weekend, we went to Pahrump, Nevada, and we raced the Desert Showdown, is what that one's called. It's a legacy race. It was 230 miles. It was a little bit of a loop, and that one was super fun. We went and pre-ran it with the people, the renters, and pre-run went great. Got all of the things that I felt were something that could end the race. Got those marked. Glenn came back out, and so since I did the pre-run, I let Glenn take 90% of the race. I got in at the last pit in the last 80-mile stretch, which was 90% rock. That's what I got in, and the co-driver. The driver, he stayed in the entire race, which was awesome. And I honestly think he could do more than the miles we did in a single wave. So, and then we finished that race. We managed to get second out of four teams, and that was only his second ever desert race. Oh, I forgot about the Gold Rush. So in October, right after Trail Hero, I went to, it was at Virginia City, just north of Reno, or just south of Reno, one of the two. And we raced from there to Tonopah. And that one was his first race. We had some engine trouble, but we still finished the race in fourth out of I think there was 4 or 5 trophy lights. And so overall, co-driving I'm still working my way up to where I can sit in the driver's seat, but I think we're going somewhere with it. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's awesome. Hopefully, we'll get to see you behind the wheel, not just sitting in the passenger seat here soon. So yeah, that's awesome. And I know also one thing that we should probably touch on is Trail Hero. What did you get to do at Trail Hero?
So Trail Hero, Rich asked Dad and was like, "Hey, you should ask Brax if he wants to be in the raffle thing for LCQ." And he was like, "Sure, I'll ask him." And I was like, "Sure, why not? I mean, let me ask Neizumi. That's probably a good idea." And so I asked Neizumi, and after he said yes, Rich threw my name in. I was lucky enough to get drawn, and so I was able to run his single seat. That thing it's different than what I'm used to. It's not the first single seat car that I've driven. Well, no, it's the first single seat car I've driven. No, I drove Pretty Penny for like 2 minutes back when Cody did that thing at Trail Hero,
Well, you
however long
also
ago that
actually
was.
also I saw some video from Japan where you drove
Oh,
a
yeah.
single seat.
Yeah, but that was on bald 35s. I mean, it's still a single seat, but it was like a short little mini single seat. It was so cute. It was so much fun. I love that thing. Um, yeah, but otherwise I've just driven like Rich's trail rig. Like Rich's, oh, I don't even know what he called it, but the old like 3 or 4 seat rear steer car that he had way back when, and I've driven his 2 seat Jesse car that he has now. But otherwise this was my first like competition side of rear steer and single seat. So I had about 30 to 40 hours in the single seat of practice. And I just sort of did my own thing after school every day and right before the event. And so I didn't do too bad in LCQ. I managed to get see let's see. So I was 10th in round one, but Matt broke his car and couldn't fix it in time. And so I got into round two, and then I got 8th in round two, and I missed Trailbreaker by one person. Because since Caleb didn't show up, Logan got Caleb's spot, and so I was the next runner up in that, but missed it by that much. But it was still a lot of fun. And honestly, I still really like watching Trailbreaker. So
Yeah, it's definitely a different animal going into a single seat rear steer car, but also running a Trailbreaker event LCQ, especially that brand new LCQ style. That was no joke to jump into. Um, and so, which what'd you like? Better? Did you like the single seat, or do you still like the pro modified?
so I think for our style of competition, for the WeRock style of competition, I think I'll always choose Pro Mod because, in my opinion, it is the harder class.
Yep.
Whether you people see it that way or not, it is the harder class.
It is a different animal, and I know I've had this discussion with a couple of people. There's a difference between when I'm setting the course, I'm trying to set it doable for pro mods and but hard to challenge the rear steer guys, and that's different, than
Hmm.
if I were to set something for the impossible for pro mods, but to challenge the unlimiteds. It's a different style of course, and also it's a completely different thought process. Compared to a rear steer
Yeah.
car, it's having a drag axle and maneuvering a drag axle. There is a completely different plan when you go into that course.
Yeah. No, for sure. And like it's it's more the Pro Mod style is less how can we dodge this cone, more how many cones can we afford to hit to stay competitive. Which it sounds bad, but if you can go an event with only hitting like 2 or 3 cones the entire weekend, that is a win right there. That is phenomenal. Um, but compared to the rear steer, the rear steer is more fun on trail in my opinion. But I feel like that's because I could see everything. Like I didn't have to worry as much about whether my rear fell in a hole and I just didn't feel it and now it's stuck and wedged, but more like I I definitely pushed my personal boundaries further in the rear steer because I felt like I could trust the car more because I could see what the tires were doing. So when it comes down to which I prefer, it's more of a which style of competition. Because with the single seat, I would rather do stuff like Top Gun or Breaker, where the gates are really wide, but it's the hardest stuff you can do. As where when it comes to tight and point based competition and competitiveness, I would rather be in the Pro Mod. It's just more what I'm used to and what I'm more comfortable with in that tight competition.
Yeah, it's definitely, you always do an amazing job on course with the pro mod. You and Brett, I see you put a plan together, and even when stuff isn't going the way you had planned, you're working around it. And there's a lot of that, in any sort of competition. Especially when you don't get to walk or drive the course, you get to walk it, and you get one chance. And you're always going to have, maybe one plan didn't work out, let's go to plan B, let's go to plan C. And you guys done, I've seen you do and grow, from when I first started watching you compete, to seeing you now. It's it's amazing to see how well you put that plan together and how well you can execute it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's taken a lot of I feel like it's been more learning how we both react in certain situations. And I know a lot of it for me was learning just to fully trust, because it's like the cage isn't going to kill me, and Brett's not going to purposely roll me over. He wants to win too. So let's just work as a team and understand how both of us work and how we both see the course. 9 times out of 10, it's super similar. But every once in a while, we look at the line and we see two completely different things, and we're like, well, which one do we pick? And it's like, I don't know. We'll see if we even make it this far. um, yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of trust in the sport.
Yeah, and that is one thing about having that kind of 3-point team. You have the car, you have the driver, you have the spotter, and you have to trust the car, you have to feel the car, and you also have to trust the spotter, and all of that has to come together, and in order to finish the weekend out on top. And you've definitely showed that that's something you can do even the past couple of years.
Yeah, yeah. It's I've seen a lot of growth from I used to freeze in the car to why not? I won't die. Might as well. We can try it and see what happens.
Yeah, I know, when I'm on course, or when I used to be on course, there was a level of, I wanted to win, and it didn't matter what that took. If it took, rolling the car off of something, or, let's just back up an extra 5 feet and hit it harder. I wanted to be out on top. And, I mean, that's also something I really miss about competing, is that drive.
Hmm.
There's no other, you would never get that any other time than when start 10 minutes and you're on course.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the thought process often on course, you're like two different people, because it's like how competitive can you be off course when we're all just sitting around hanging out together watching each other, and then you get on course and you're like, well, we have to like try our best to win. We have to. Like, it's not even like a like
Yeah.
it's almost like,
There's no doubt. It's you do or you don't. You're 100%.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And you can't get tunnel vision. I've struggled a lot with this, and I'm sure I will next season too. If I get too tunnel visioned and I don't focus on being able to have fun on course as well, I mess up a lot more. If I'm too focused on not hitting that cone, I'm gonna hit the cone we weren't worried about. And it's something that I've realized more, and I know Brett sees it a lot. He's like, dude, you gotta relax. And I'm like, sorry, I'm trying. And it's really frustrating when it happens.
Yeah, 100%. You have to be relaxed in the car, and it's always the easy gates. I don't, when me and my dad are on course, it was always like the gate that we're like, all right, that's not, not too bad. We'll just go, we'll drive through that, and then we're gonna really spend some time on this hard gate, and the hard gate goes easy, and we just like completely ruined everything on that easy gate. It was like, what? How that wasn't even, how did we end up there? Like that wasn't what was planned at all. But you have to, yeah, you have to be relaxed. You can never, there can never be a lapse in your concentration about it. Every cone, every rock, you need to pay attention to, and never, get distracted about it. Like everything takes,
Yeah.
you need to care about everything the car is doing, even if it's on, and that's most time when you roll over, it's like, it's because you're like, well, that should be no big deal. And then it's like, what happened? Uh,
Yeah, my Moonrock's nose stand could not have happened the way that it did. Like after watching the videos, I understand how it happened, and it was my little jolt forwards to make sure I would dodge the cone. But I didn't think, well, traction doesn't really do much when you're going downhill. And so I just landed on the brakes and you can hear the tire slide. And then it hits the little divot in the rock and it starts to kick. And then it hits the ground and then it kicks. And I'm like, well, in I didn't even there wasn't any thought process in my idea of when I just floored it and just kept going. I'm shocked it stood up for as long as it did. And then you can hear when Brett says stop and I just huck it in reverse and it goes bleep. So it was a lot of fun. It hurt my back the next day, but it was a lot of fun.
it was definitely a show. I missed it. I think I was actually doing a recovery on somebody else on the next course over, and we just got done winching them back onto all four, and I turn over and you're directly on your roof in the middle of two courses. Like, I don't even know what's happened. But that was such a cool event. Your dad said that you won Farmington because you weren't going into it like you thought you were going to lose, and you just went out there and had fun.
Yeah, that was a circumstance I never even thought of before. Like, because Brett had to go home because of a family emergency, because it was the one event my cousin didn't come to, and he had to go home for a family emergency. And so when he left, I was like, well, I guess Dad's spotting for me. We're probably not gonna win, but let's just go have fun, I guess. And we did that, and it worked out great. I mean, I just sort of drove the car, and he was like, "Don't hit this cone." How did we hit that cone? Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a
it
lot
was
of
pretty
fun.
awesome to see you guys on course. You were driving the car and he was like, "All right, well just do it now." And it wasn't like any stress or anything. You guys were laughing. You guys were poking fun at each other. Even when you barrel rolled off the top of the bowl in Farmington and landed on all four, it was like your dad was like, "Oh, well, let's feet like, yeah, you're good. Like, just don't move. Like, you landed. Let's go." And there was not even like a beat, like skipped a beat on it. It was just all right. We're just driving.
Yeah, I mean, once rolling becomes a normal thing in your family, it's like you can't be scared by it anymore. It's like it just sort of happens every once in a while, and you just keep moving with it. Yeah, that roll, I don't know. I don't even I don't know. I don't know how that one happened either. I went too high, I guess.
And
And then I
honestly,
stopped.
once you stopped, is when it all the rear started to. Well, and actually, honestly, you at that point you had too much traction. Once you stopped it, the tire wasn't sloughing anything off, and so you grabbed traction, and the car stopped, and you were just at it right at the angle where it was gonna go. But it definitely made for an amazing show in the shootout. Promod with Malachi and running the pro mods in that shootout, you guys put on an amazing show and did some stuff that should have probably never been done in a drag axle.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I still feel bad because we damaged the hood more, and so we still have to fix that. But other than that, I had a lot of fun. Malachi is a great driver. I'm very intrigued to see what they have coming this season because there's a lot of potential in that kid. He's really really good at driving. It's
Yep,
it's
it was
impressive.
awesome to see him jump in, no fear, and just absolutely send that. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a pro mod. That is a trail rig.
That's a trail rig.
It's big, it's long, it's wide, and he absolutely threw that car at those courses, and he was right there behind you.
Yeah. No, it was an event, that's for sure. I had a lot of fun. Yeah, and with the traction thing, that same thing happened in Dayton, where everyone hit it, slid over, and went up the bonus. And Brett and I were like, we'll just do the same thing, I guess. And we hit it, and the entire car just bounced on top. And we're like, I guess we won't do that then. That wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah, I
And so
was
those mile stars, they work. They work really good. Just saying.
yeah, you and I would say that in Tennessee, the kind of the way you were hitting those ledges were a little bit, I would say, different from what I've seen you in the past. You honestly, you really hit them with good momentum, and once you had that car moving forward, you had the power to really huck that car at the ledge, and it just stuck. And it was cool to see how well that car worked there in Tennessee.
Yeah. Well, and I do attribute a lot of my learning on how to throw things to the 5 hours I spent on Beam throwing the V8 Jesse car up stuff. Learning, and I know it's not an exact replica of like how the power transfers and etc. stuff like that, but it did help me understand more how to launch things. Between that and when I was messing around on Trailbreaker with Rich last year after the fact, and I was in the pro mod when I was trying to shoot Little Bill and I rolled off the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that from Rich too, because he taught me how to feel when the car was loaded up properly compared to just backing off a little bit, thinking the shocks are settled. No, you have to back way up, and the shocks actually settle, and you can feel them load up a little bit, and then you let the brakes go, and then it sort of hits and bounces, and then you just have to hope for a good stick on the
Yeah.
second bite, and it goes.
Yeah, and it's a lot of people may not think about, you see somebody just do a full throttle assault on a ledge or something, and it's like, you just hit it, like you just hold your foot down, and while I would say I do some of that, like if it needs it, I'm sending the entire car at it, but there is a way you have to do it. You have to back up far enough, and you have to be able to throw the car instead of hit the car at the ledge. You have to have that momentum moving forward. You can't just burn the tires off. You have to move the car uphill, and that really, you have to learn that.
Yeah, no, and it is something you learn. It's a skill that you get better at. And I couldn't hit or really understand how to throw the car at things besides just stick your foot to the floor and hope it works out. But as I've learned, one, how the car reacts when I do that, and as I've learned more throttle control from regular driving, I didn't think that that was going to be like a big change, but I feel like before I was 16 or 15, when I could legally drive, I had less overall control and less feeling than I do now. And I contribute a lot of that to regular driving because you have to be able to feel and understand the car. At least that's how I drive. I'm very, very vigilant on how I use the throttle because I get terrible gas mileage. And so I'm like, I gotta try to reserve fuel somehow.
And you kind of can translate that because you want to roll into it. You want to, I mean, you don't want to just, mash it, but you don't want to come into it too late, but you need to roll into it. And you have to, through practice and just understanding how the car, being comfortable in the car, you have just, you'll learn it.
Yeah, which that I didn't have during LCQ in that single seat. None. I had no throttle control.
I know.
Like I had enough my basic stuff, but
when you went into round 2, and I'm like, you need to go hit that bottom ledge. You're like, I don't never really. I'm like, just put the car down there, put the front tires on it, and all of the horsepowers need to come out. I don't care. All of them need to come out. And I know you did eventually head down there and take a couple of stabs on it. I know the belly and everything was just kind of hitting not in the right spot. But the more driving you do, the more seat time, and being right there, having the chance to wheel the single seat car, just the more seat time, the better.
yeah. Well, and I should have known better, and I should have scooted more to the right where it was an actual ramp instead of whole undercut rock traction. Yeah, use the ramp if you can. If it's there, use the ramp. Don't just
Yep.
hit the holes.
Well,
The holes
that's
don't usually work out.
yeah, and I walked the LCQ course and I was looking at it and I'm like, I don't see that big of a deal with this climb. Everybody was like, oh, I don't, it hits weird, it's undercut, it's a big hole, and I'm like, why don't you just drive up the big bite where it's smooth? Like, yes, it's
Yeah.
bigger, but it's smoother, and that allows you to as long as there's a good ramp, it's amazing what you can do in a car. I mean, you look at the wall in Cedar City, and if
Hmm.
you walked up to there and didn't know a car had been on it, it'd be like there's no who would ever drive up that. And
Yeah.
yet cars have done it and they stick to it. And it's you have to hit it just right, but you can huck a car up that wall.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely sort of bummed that we blew the pinion in Cedar City. Like, I'm glad it happened at the end of the event, but I was really looking forward to having a shot at the wall. I still haven't gone and shot it because I want to do it. I want to try it during an event just because I don't feel the need to do it after the fact or by myself because there's no advantage to me to risk breaking the car for that. But if it's during an event, there's a point, there's a point to do it. And so hopefully the next time we're over there, everything goes good and we can throw it at it.
Yeah, awesome. I'll have to think about where I'm setting everything for next year. We'll see where courses end up. I always try and find as many new or different stuff as I can.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I want to kind of know. I know you did say you really like Dayton, but was there an event? I guess other than Dayton, but like what's been your favorite this year?
Um, I think I'm still going to go with Farmington. I think Farmington is still my favorite event site because it's tall and it's technical. You can get really, really technical with your courses there because it is so big, but you can also have that variety of that's just a really big wall you're making us drive up, and then we have to turn this way. Like over on the far, far side, it's just really far away when you're at the comp site. You have your courses more tight and technical, but then on this side by Money Pit, you have your more wide open courses with the bigger climbs. And I think that variety in an event is incredible. Because like Baghdad is your most, in my opinion, your most technical event. Although I don't know, Reno was pretty technical with all the bonus cracks and stuff.
Yeah,
Reno was hard.
Reno will definitely. I think there's some stuff I was looking at for next year, and there's so much potential there, and so many cool lines. And I know even some of the more local guys after the event, they came up and they're like, "Man, I never even saw some of the lines that you'd set." It's like it's just I want that new line. I want to push what we're doing, um,
Yeah.
and so it's every event site has it's a little bit different. You came out to Dayton. That's almost completely different from any other event site. The fact that you're in there in a green grassy field and there's just a
I know.
bluff full of
Yeah.
ledges. There's no other event site like it. So it's awesome that you got to come out east, and hopefully we'll see you at more events.
Yeah, I hope so. I think the idea is that we're going to be able to come out to more of those East Coast ones besides West Virginia because that's during graduation. But
But you could
we hope to
probably
come out.
talk to little Charlie Meltzner, who skipped his graduation to go to West Virginia.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I've thought about it, but I invited a lot of people, and it's at the Tuacahn Theater here, so it's at a really really cool spot that the school's getting to use. So
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be fun.
yeah, that's awesome. Well, I know you have a lot of people to thank for making the season happen. Um, and so it's amazing what the program you can put together, and it's awesome to have you guys come out to events, and it's awesome to have you in the pro modified class. So who do you have to thank to make all that happen?
I need to thank Nezu Masuda, of course. Suda Racing. It's still his car. He still owns the car. He still helps out with the entry fees and stuff. And so we really appreciate him for giving us the opportunity from the start, from COVID to now. It's all of this is his fault. Um, and then of course Milestar Tires. I got to thank them. The tires work really good. Everywhere I've gone, I've always found traction, one way or another. I found traction with those tires. Red Rock Spas, he supports a bunch. Kevin, Mega Whips, Mike Stump, he's awesome. We just got a new whip on the car after Reno because I landed on it again. Which the lights part of the whip, still has not broken. I landed the entire weight of the car on that thing. It still ain't broke. The spring bends. The whip itself does not break. Just saying. GG Lighting, we've got some of their lights on the front of the car. Carbon winches, those guys are awesome. They came out to Trail Hero. Super happy to meet all those guys and hang out with them more. Going out to King of the Hammers with the car to put in their booth just as a show car. I'm not doing anything with it. It's literally going to sit in their booth, and I'm just helping out with their booth in general. Snowy Shaved Ice, we try to do free snow cones every event, or at least events that it's hot enough to actually do it, because it's been a really cold season. Summit Machine and JE Reel, the links in the driveline. Corbo seats, those seats are fantastic. It's so much more comfortable in the car. Now, I had to change the dash, but now it looks cleaner and it's more comfortable. So I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take what I can get. And then AMC Works, that's Dad. He drives me across the country when I ask him to, so that helps a lot. Rockcrawler.com, of course, Woody over there, he supports a lot. Trail Hero, Rich, he's awesome. This is also all his fault. Between him and the Izumi, it's all their fault. JM Rigging, he helped us out with the winch lines, best winch lines you can get. I don't care what anyone says, they just are. Well, and he does bigger rigging stuff now too, which that's pretty cool. Red Flow shocks, the shocks on the car, they work great. Kaiser Locker and Trail Gear Japan. Those guys are awesome, and I look forward to this season and seeing what else comes.
That's awesome. I look forward to seeing you back out on course for the 26 WERock season. It's going to be an amazing year, some amazing competitions. I'm excited to be out, setting courses again, and we'll see you next year.
Yes, sir.
I got to get that and this off. All right, All right, well, that does it for another WERock Wednesday. It was amazing to have Braxton on. Your 25 Pro Modified Bragg National Series winner, and it is a very tough class, and it is a battle the entire season, whether it's team versus team or just team versus terrain. It is an amazing class. I've always loved it. That was my first time competing, was in the Pro Modified class, and it will always hold a special place. So it's awesome to see the Pro Modified competitors, and hopefully we'll have more and more next season. But I'd like to thank Laser Nut, Maxxis Tires, Metal Cloak, Brannick Motorsports, Behemoth Drivetrain, Carnage Welders, Crown Automotive, Spider Tracks Off-Road, Raceline Wheels, Drive Shaft Specialist of San Antonio, Tire Right, and Axle Helmets. And thanks to Braxton Coleman for coming on with Suda Racing.